Good morning, everyone. I think it's coffee time.
Cheers! Coffee time.
Good morning.
Good morning to you too. Morning, sunshine.
How are you this morning, Kate? Are you well?
I am well. I'm a little sleepy. I'm a little excited. My daughter is coming. I
I know.
haven't seen her in over 2 years, and Zoom is great, but a hug is so much better in person.
Yeah.
So, and I have really missed her, and so I'm excited for her new life and her new love, and I can't wait to meet him. So I'm busy planning menus and shopping and dusting and discovering nooks and crannies and dust bunnies in places I didn't know existed, and
Yes.
and we're expecting snow.
That's yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, oh, great, one more element. Maybe we won't go out for Indian food. Maybe we'll
Maybe.
eat leftovers. So it's an exciting time. How about you? How you feeling? You sound better.
I am much better. I'm not totally 100%, but I'm much, much better.
That's
And back to getting, oh, thank you, Flowing. Flowing says the notification just popped. That's
oh,
always helpful.
yes.
I'm back to mostly normal for
Good.
me.
Good. Yeah.
And an enormous amount of construction work is and has been going on right outside my door, and they are not letting up.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be able to have enough quiet to have our discussion. That would be nice.
Maybe they're all out getting coffee too.
I hope so. I put up a protective barrier around us and our chat. So one
Right.
would think that they would have found something else to do for the time we're going to be here.
Good. Yeah, maybe they're project planning.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That's good. It's always sort of confusing when you have something outside your normal quiet.
yes,
It's suddenly making a lot of noise, and you can't just say, "Hey, cut that out."
because it's not I didn't hire these people.
Right.
So
That's right.
you want to say hi to some people?
Sure.
Sherry's here. Hi, Sherry.
Morning. Morning,
And
Sherry.
Lisa Rhodes. Hello,
Hi,
Lisa.
Lisa. Glad you're here too.
Flowing is here. Good
Chloe.
morning.
Yep.
And Andrea is here.
Pull up a chair, sweetheart. Love you're here.
Bring some coffee
Or
or
tea,
whatever your
or
preferred
cocoa,
beverage.
or a combination of.
Flowing says she's happy for you and wants you to enjoy your visit.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Jenny's here. Hi, Jenny.
Jenny.
Or Jenny. Tell me the way you say your name, and I will say it that way if I can. There's Gertrude. Good morning,
Hi, Gertrude.
Gertrude.
Morning.
And I think that catches us up.
Maybe everyone can tell us what they're drinking.
Yes.
What are you drinking this morning?
I'm drinking coffee. How do you take your coffee, Kate?
Well, I have a sensitive digestive system. So at a very early age, a doctor told me that I needed to drink instant coffee. And the reason for that is because in the process of dehydrating it, it filters out so your kidneys don't have to.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Yeah. So ever since I started drinking the instant coffee, I haven't had to see the doctor in pain. That's awful. So I also put toffee drops in mine, the stevia toffee, because
Nice.
it just gives it that little extra sweetness that says
Gives it
the
a little.
day's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
I tend to drink mine au naturel. So however it comes out of the coffee filter, that's how I drink it.
That's awesome.
Flowing's having a Diet Coke.
Nice.
Sherry
My
is
daughter's
back.
favorite. Yeah.
Glad to have you back, Sherry. Gertrude is having 3-in-1 Asian coffee,
Oh,
which sounds very interesting.
that does sound interesting.
She says that, there she is. I'm addicted to it. So it must be wonderful, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, yeah, that must have quite a flavor.
Come
on,
Jenny says that it's okay, however, whichever way I say her name.
whichever way you want to say it.
She's having coffee with French vanilla creamer and sugar.
Wow, that's a yummy sweet one.
Sherry's got a mug of coffee and a Coke. I do that lots. I don't
Really?
drink Coke. I drink diet soda, but I do that sometimes too. I have coffee and a soda.
If you're gonna come up, come up. Okay, thank you. She's screaming at me.
Sherry says she doesn't speak until she's had her first cup of very strong coffee. I try not to speak to anyone until I've had my coffee too, because
Yeah.
it just bypasses some unpleasantness on my behalf. I don't want to offend anyone before I have my eyes open.
That's right.
Andrea's drinking water.
Nice.
And but she's making Larry's coffee from Hawaii.
Oh, now that's just not fair, Andy.
Fresh coffee he
Larry
grows.
should share. Have him send all of us some of that coffee from Hawaii.
Jenny says she has coffee in a cup sometimes too. Isn't that funny that you but kind of want to balance, right?
Is it the difference between the hot and the cold? Or,
I think so.
Or
I
just
think
flavors?
So. It could be flavors too.
Yeah.
Flowing is a morning person. I admire morning people. I wish I could be one.
We won't tell. We won't tell.
Sue Toffee is here.
Hi.
Welcome. Coffee drops.
Coffee drops. Yummy. Does she want to know what they are?
Oh.
I can show you maybe. They're
2 a.m. where Sue Toffee is. Where are you?
Wow. There she is, Sue Toffee.
Making peppermint tea.
Yummy. So the toffee drops are a stevia product, which is a leaf sweetener, a natural leaf sweetener that we buy at a store called Sprouts. And I don't know if it's everywhere, but it's a natural, comes with droppers, little droppers that you can get the flavor from. And so it's kind of like a sweetener with a flavor on it. I hope that helps.
Sherry says her late husband would wake her up. If I can catch it. Find it again. There it is. Her late husband would wake her up in the morning holding a cup of coffee next to the bed.
I always wanted breakfast in bed, right? But I never could figure out how do they do that when you got to get up and run to the ladies and then come back? Or how does that work?
I don't know. I've never had it. Sue Toffee is in Sydney, so
wow.
Thank you for tuning in from down under.
Wow, that's so cool. We love it.
Gertrude's a morning person. Flowing is a night person too, so she is bubbly all the time.
Wow, that's amazing.
That is amazing. Lorraine Morris is here. Good morning.
Hi, Lorraine. Good morning.
Yeah, Sherry's not a morning person. Flowing says she loves peppermint tea. Sue Toffee is making peppermint tea.
Yes. I used to put hot chocolate in my coffee, mix them and make a mocha. And then if I was really feeling like I needed something extra over the top, I would put whipping cream on top. Things we do to feel good, right?
Right. Good morning, Angela.
Hi, Angela.
I know she's having a busy morning over at her place, what with roof leaks and all,
Oh no.
and getting them fixed today.
Oh no. Is it dry right now?
It is right now, but it's threatening.
Yeah, because you can't fix. It's really hard to fix a roof leak when it's raining because the water's coming in. So.
You haven't met the construction workers in Texas, have you?
Are they miracle workers?
These people,
Wow.
they don't care.
Wow.
They will mow lawns in the rain or right after it rained, or
Wow.
they do construction work through all weather.
Wow. Crazy.
They are crazy. Supposed to have really bad weather over there in the swamp with Sherry sometime tonight. So we're getting it. We're supposed to get it here in Dallas around mid-afternoon, but it looks like it could start at any minute.
Yeah, we have the winter storms coming in, 2 of them back to back. So I'm not even sure she's going to make it up the mountain without chains. I don't even think she has chains. But we'll just have to cross our fingers and see what happens. Yeah.
Lisa Rhodes asked, is it raining men?
Ooh.
I listen to that song every once in a while. I'll run across it.
Yeah. It's a great lyric, isn't it?
It is.
Great lyric.
And if you look at the old video, it's so funny.
Is that right?
It is. It's very funny. Okay. So I think we've caught up with everyone.
Everybody's at the table. Pass the cookies. What are we're passing biscuits or cookies or breakfast rolls or croissants or
Whatever it is that you
turkey bacon
have at your disposal or want, or it's a rainy gray day. It is here.
I love rain. I love rain. I love the sound of it. I love the coolness of it. I love the way the air smells when it's finished. I love the critters that come out. I remember as a kid, I used to put on my rain boots with no shoes inside and no socks inside, just barefoot inside the rain boot, and then go puddle walking. And I would splash, and I would let the water come over the edge of the boot and down into my foot, and let it float around in there with my foot, and I just had a blast walking in the gutter. What is that? It was so much fun.
It was fun.
So great.
And now that I'm old, it's not fun anymore.
It could be fun.
It could be fun if it didn't make me ache.
There's got to be a way for an adult to have fun puddle walking, right?
That's true.
There should be a way to be able to do that without worry or, any preconceived ideas about whether it's okay or not okay. We should just get out and do what we love, right?
So, yeah, Angela's dealing with repairs today. So she's, Nancy's here. Nancy Riker. Good morning.
Hi, Nancy. Glad you're here too.
All right.
Yeah, rain's good stuff. Plus, I really like sleeping in cool air. For some reason, if from here down is warm, right, tucked in and warm, and up above is cold, I sleep like a baby. I do. Probably because my mom used to say, because I was born in Minnesota, where, they only have 2 seasons. They have winter and then they have July. So if that's what it was, the coldness, of being born into a place that's cold. I don't know. Do you think that's true, that could be real?
It could be.
The way where you're born can determine whether you like hot or cold?
It could be. I think that sometimes it has to do with when you're born too. Mm-hmm. What is the weather like in the season that you're born?
Well, I was born in June in Minnesota, so I guess that would still be considered winter.
Yes.
Who knows?
Angela's got to go, so have
Oh,
a good day,
you
Angela,
too,
and I hope
sweetheart.
all of your repair things go as you wish them to.
Earplugs are great. Earphones. You put on something you love. Ignore it. Make the world go away.
You know, probably if we sat and played in puddles like we did when we were children, we would be much healthier, much happier, because we wouldn't be worrying about things. We'd be playing.
We'd be playing. There is that balance that seems to be missing for a
Good
lot of
morning,
adults.
Earth Angel.
I think that there's instead of playing or experiencing the spontaneous creativity that you did when you were a child, people substitute that for working out at the gym, running miles and miles and miles, where it really should be play. It should be playtime, where it's fresh air and adventurous and you're right, where your body doesn't hurt at the end of the day. Or maybe there's a hot tub at the end of the day. We'll include that in our perfect day list.
A hot tub, and we'll switch the coffee for wine.
Yeah. Oh, see, there's an idea there. A relaxing one.
But not too much, because we don't want to stay in the hot tub too long.
No.
That would be unfortunate.
That would really be unfortunate. But nice to anyway.
Earth Angel says, I love to be silly with my boys. And that's the best, isn't it?
That is the best. It is. I used to love to be silly with my daughters too.
Well, Lauren's here. She can't stay.
Hi, Lauren.
Wanted to send love and joy and blessings.
Yes. Have a great day.
Yes.
Come back and tell us how wonderful it was next week.
Yeah. Janet P is here.
Hi,
Morning,
Janet.
Janet. Oops. Sherry says a hot tub anytime, day or night. Flowing is a fall weather person. I am too, and I think it's partly because I was born in the fall. So this is my month. November.
Your month is now. Are you Scorpio?
I am Scorpio. I'm extra Scorpio.
Extra Scorpio.
I'm Scorpio sun, Scorpio rising, and I have like 4 more points
Houses
in my first house. So I'm extra Scorpio.
Yes,
And mostly water, almost all water.
I got a moon in Scorpio.
My moon is in Pisces.
Oh my, you are.
I am very Scorpio and very water.
Yes.
And so I have made a lifelong practice of trying to censor myself so that I don't hurt people's feelings.
So let me just ask you an astrological question with Scorpio. When I have friendships, they're very deep. They're very instant. They're very deep. They're very truthful. And I find that if the friendship goes sour, that there's, you get one retake. But if there's a second instance or whatever, where I'm questioning the trust or something has gone sour, like I'm trying to say, then I'm more likely to walk away quickly from that. Do you find that the boundary of, yeah, it's okay, no, it's not okay, is pretty strong for you?
Absolutely.
As well?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've had to learn to make that my boundary.
Right.
I can't apply that to you.
Sure.
Because you have your own. So my boundaries are very black and white, this side or that side. Yeah. And I'm night and day. I'm not afraid of the night. I'm not afraid of the dark. I will pull whatever it is, kicking and screaming, into the light so we can see what it is and check it out. And if it's wrong, kick it to the curb.
Right. No, I agree with you 100%. I want things to have resolution. I want
Yes,
there to be a resolution. I want to understand what
yes,
pieces went into that so that I can understand it and have compassion and empathy. But sometimes those little pieces are a mystery. So it can be hard. And I find that the ones that are closest to me have been close to me and will be close to me, probably throughout the whole experience this
yes.
time around.
Um, I I don't. I have a lot of acquaintances. I have very few close friends
Hmm.
because that's there's a joke about peeling layers.
Okay.
That if and there's a meme. I if I could show it to you, I would. It's a and it says Scorpio, and what it is a tin can with a pop top, and you pull off the pop top, and there's another lid with a pop top underneath.
Oh my gosh.
So there's
That's cute.
layers
That's cute. Yeah.
to get into, and I think it's because Scorpios are really water, really emotional, and we've been hurt, and we're not doing that. So
Probably not.
it's really hard to get down to.
And that honesty element is just huge. It's such a big deal. To be
Yes.
truthful, to be honest, you know, it's amazing.
Well,
There we go.
it is,
Commonality.
and Scorpios are misunderstood. We get a bad rap. People think we're all just the bad stuff, and there is some bad stuff,
Well,
but there is in everyone.
yes, absolutely. My daddy was Scorpio. Although they said that they didn't, where my dad was born, they didn't have birth records. A lot of the children were born at home, and they didn't have a system of recording births. In fact, if the oldest child had passed away, all the other remaining ones would go up a frame and take the older one's name. So you could be Deb one day and then, Sarah the next day
The next.
because everybody's name shifts up. And I've never heard that in other cultures, but it was pretty amazing to me that they could switch an identity that quickly. And so when he came to this country, he chose a day to be his birthday. And I always felt that he was Scorpio just because of stuff that he would pull out of the air. Do you get that too? It's like,
Scorpios are very intuitive.
yeah, very intuitive.
Um,
It just drops out of the sky.
like Flowing said, don't try to fool a Scorpio.
Mm. Yeah,
You
no
won't be able
secrets
to
from
do
a
it.
psychic.
We have built-in lie detectors,
That's right.
and if you are being less than genuine with us, we will know. We may not say anything, but we'll know,
We'll
and
know.
we'll treat you with kid gloves from now on.
That's right. That little radar warning thing.
Yes,
That danger Will Robinson.
yes, but I'm right. So I can, if I don't think about what I'm saying, I can say something very hurtful,
Mm.
just because it popped into my head. Just,
But that's kind of that guard thing too.
mhm.
It's like, whoop, stop. You don't cross that line. I'm presenting the line to you, and that's why
That's
why it's coming out. So it can be interesting.
So it's interesting.
Yeah.
And
I've been noticing and hearing a lot about hurtful things going on through the chat or even in the community. And it really surprised me being a newbie and being an optimist and always wanting the higher good for everyone. To hear from different sources and different people, different aspects of things that are going on.
yes,
And so I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on, do you step forward and say, hey, that's not cool, please don't do that? or do you stay quiet and just let them, play in their sandbox and I'll go play in my sandbox? Or how do you see that?
I think that is, it depends on the situation. So, good morning, Mama Bear is here.
Oh, and
And
Diana.
Diana is here. Good morning. For me, it depends on the situation and whether or not I'm working the room. So let's say I'm a moderator and something hurtful comes up and I'm active in the room and I'm moderating. Part
Right.
of the moderator's job is to keep the peace.
Right.
So if it's a hurtful thing said about someone or a situation, then I may step in and say something to kind of smooth it over a little bit, not dismissing what you said, not dismissing that it was a hurtful thing,
Right.
but trying to keep the peace in the room.
And you know what's interesting too is that sometimes communication gets misunderstood because they're saying it with tongue in cheek, or they're saying it sarcastic. But sarcastic communication is very difficult to have in a small chat space. Hi, Miriam. It's very, and so to try and be sarcastic, unless you know that person personally, other people that are reading what you're saying to that person may take it as, something that shouldn't have been in the chat when they don't understand there's a relationship there. So even guidelines about please don't say anything sarcastic. Please be, just the facts, son, just the facts.
And don't be offended if someone says something. If you say something and you mean it innocently,
right?
Don't be offended if somebody else gets their feelings hurt.
Right.
And try not to take things personally. It's not probably being said to you. It may just be a general statement, and you felt like it was to you. So try not to be offended. And remember that there is no tone in chat.
Right. They can't hear. Yeah.
We don't know
how
it was meant.
Yeah, they can't see you rolling your eyes.
Yeah.
Or winking,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard.
So yes, Lisa, be respectful. I think that is the main thing, to be respectful. And what Sherry said, be willing to forgive. Also to remember that we're not all on the same place on our path.
Right.
It's not necessarily our business.
Right.
No, we feel like we know people because we speak to them in chat, we see them on screen, and we feel like we know that person. So we feel like what they said, we understood what they said, but we may not have. We may have taken it a completely different way than it was intended.
Well, yes, absolutely. And I think that's just pretty much an everyday thing right now with energy shifting so rapidly, that it can come out one way and be blown around the room and then come back to you a different way.
Exactly. And sometimes it's a situation like my most recent video that I did.
Right.
Nobody knew I was there.
Right.
Because I was hiding because I didn't feel good. Now, there's nothing wrong with lurking, but you have to remember that nobody knows you're there. So if you hear something or read something that you take personally, it probably wasn't meant for you. It may not have been meant for anyone.
Right.
It might have just been an offhand remark.
Right.
That meant nothing.
Andrea is saying that in the ascension energy, we should call someone out. And I do agree with that, but I don't know if chat is the right place to do it. I mean, maybe it is because it's in chat, but we're also talking about experiences outside outside the experience of YouTube and sharing.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about a bullying remark. A bullying remark should be shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be brought to the attention of the person who said it that that is a hurtful thing and you're being a bully.
Yes. And
So
it's
I
being
agree with
perceived
that.
way. Yeah, it's being perceived that way too.
Right.
You know, so if there's an opportunity for clarification, if there was, it was meant to be lighthearted or silly or,
Right.
and we all
If
have
something was
different
meant to be
triggers.
hurtful, it needs to be called
True.
out and
Yep.
shut down.
Yeah, I agree.
And if that person can't play nice, then they should move on to something else.
But your video was so insightful because it made me think about how we all process something like a slight or like a hurt feelings. How do we process that in the ascension? How do we pivot and bless it and move on? Oh my gosh, my Roomba has decided to wake up. So if you hear a weird noise, I thought it was all done vacuuming, but obviously it's not. It's coming out again. But what I was trying to say was maybe we should share with each other a good way to clear that from us, so that we know that maybe it's coming out backwards, or maybe it's coming out mixed up. Maybe it wasn't really intended for us. How do we clear our space and our energy so that we're back on to who we are as being kind people?
Mary's here, Mary Thornberry. Good morning.
Hi,
I
Mary.
do not see many people being mean. I think that if of all of you in chat are some of the nicest and caring people, and I would love
Yes.
to meet you.
Yes.
I think that that's absolutely true. And I think
Absolutely.
sometimes a comment gets misinterpreted.
Yeah, it
For
can.
me, what I do, if somebody misinterprets what I said, I try to say what it was that I meant, that maybe the words I chose weren't the right words. So I try to convey that what I meant was this, instead of maybe the way that you understood the words. I try to clear things up.
Right.
If someone says something to me that's hurtful, I try to figure out, was it just a thoughtless comment? Was it made out of ignorance? I don't necessarily, if it's said to me personally, may not necessarily confront you with it unless I feel like it came from a place of bad intention.
Right.
Privately,
Can you turn
I
off
may
the mic?
mention it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Especially in public, I may not say anything, but privately, I may mention it.
Right.
That
It's hard when you feel like you have to spend your energy putting up the shield,
Good morning,
shields
running
up,
away.
all the way up, or putting that barrier around your heart, because you want to be able to have your heart express what it needs to, and knowing that the power of loving energy and how it can transform,
Yes.
and how it can transform the moment. So being able to step back and go, hold on, where am I in this picture? I am who I am. I know that my heart is good. I know that my intentions are good. My words might not come out the way I want them to come out, but
Yeah.
I, as a soul, as a spirit, as a loving being, do not want to create harm or give the impression that I'm upset or giving someone else a reason to be hurt. And unfortunately, that's kind of what I expect to come back to me. But I'm not everybody else. So,
Exactly.
and knowing that we have different levels of where we are in our journeys, to be able to say, okay, I am going to bless this experience as an experience of understanding that things can become confused. I'm not going to put judgment on it. I'm not going to hold it in any more space. I'm not going to give it any more time or energy. I'm going to release it back into the universe and send wherever it came from the best love and the best forgiveness and the best energy that I can, so that my energy going out remains constant, so that it doesn't have to be affected by something I've read, or something someone has said, or a phone call that comes in and says, did you know this is happening behind your back? It's okay. They all, like your video said, everyone can do their own thing, and I'm going to continue doing mine.
And that's another thing.
That's about all we can do, right?
That's another thing. Because we're not all in the same place in our path.
Hi, John.
Oh, sorry.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm in your path.
Yeah, he's in my path.
We may say something in a thoughtless way, and we didn't mean it that way.
Sure.
And then it can cause a rift without us even knowing
Right.
that it happened. So one of the points that I did share in my video is that it's not my business what you think about me.
That's
What
right.
my business is how I react.
Yeah, not your monkey.
Whatever the situation is. So it's okay for us to have our own thoughts and our own opinions.
Right. And the experience is a learning one.
Yeah.
You know, how we respond, how we practice, how we deal with things. We have a choice in all things to choose love or fear.
Yes.
If you're coming from a place of fear, you're going to be in all that muck. But if you're coming from a place of joy, or a place of love, or a place of creativity, then you can understand that it's outside you, and that it can blow away, just like a leaf in the wind. Right?
That's the thing, that
absolutely
whatever someone says about me doesn't make it true.
That's right.
Whatever someone thinks about me doesn't make it true.
Well, I think you're pretty special, and that's pretty good truth.
Well, thank you, Kate.
Yes. I have a little insight to that. So, but yeah. So we were. So we'll just suggest that if anyone has that kind of experience, to take a step back, take a deep breath, and blow it away. Just blow it away, and don't take it on. Don't take it on into your energy. Don't think about it anymore. Don't read it over again. Let that energy, and I'm talking about energy, blow away, because it won't serve you. It will only become a weight. Yeah.
There's a meditation exercise that I do that is that it's about detachment. And so in my mind's eye, I picture myself sitting. Technically, we're supposed to be sitting by the Yangtze River, but I don't live in India, so I I picture myself just sitting next to a creek or a lake or a river, and you might see things float by or swim by. If you're in India, it might be an alligator. It's okay to look at it and to see it. To even reach over and pick it up and examine it, pull it out of the water, examine it, and then put it back in the water and let it go.
Let it go. And I can I see the comment from Andrea about being she's such a protector. She's a protector and a warrior, and just really, really understands the plight of humanity, and I just adore that in Andrea. And if you are called to do those things and have the diplomacy to do it, by all means do it, because that's still honoring your heart. It's still honoring who you are. So yes. I agree 100% both ways.
Yeah.
And only you will know. Only you will know what feels right.
Right.
So we were talking earlier too about, I'm going to pivot here a little bit, if that's okay with everybody. I know we have some new people that have just joined in the chat. So We want to say hi to everybody that's just come in. Hope you have a
Mary
nice
came
cup of
in,
Joe or got the
running away
kettle
came
on.
in.
Yeah.
Um, I think we said hi to everyone.
That's everybody. Okay.
Okay.
But we were talking about when you know something uncomfortable is coming up in your calendar. For me, it used to always be going to the dentist. I used to hate to go to the dentist, right? Until I fell in love with going to the dentist. But I used to hate going to the dentist or, being worried about, having the counselor event at school or even my review coming up at work or something that was making me a little bit nervous. And I was just having all this, ooh, I don't want to go do that. Whatever it was. I'm making things up here. These really aren't true. These are just examples of things that could come up in your day where you're kind of dreading it. That thing where you go into your supervisor's office and they say, "Can you close the door?" I used to hate that. And they would always be like, "Why do you think it's something bad?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just hate that you have to close the door."
I think it comes from, this is just my personal thought, from when we're little kids. If we get called like to the principal's office, that's never a good thing. And the door is always shut.
Yeah. Like you can't leave. But what we were talking about was ways to lift your spirit, even though you know that's coming. And one thing that I used to do was plan something really exciting for right after the event.
Right.
So if I was going to go, I don't know, go see the dentist, then I might plan an event where I'd meet with friends for dinner and a movie, or do something that I could look forward to, that it was immediately following the event, so that during the event I would be excited about what was following it, so that I could be excited and my spirit was lifted for the other thing, even during the dreaded moment, whatever the dreaded moment was. And it really seemed to help get through those uncomfortable times when you have to have a conversation or an experience that you're really not looking forward to, but to have something really fun that you want to look forward to beyond it tends to make it easy.
I think that I'm going to apply that to, I'm getting ready to move. We haven't finalized anything yet, but at some point in between the middle of December and the middle of January, I will be in the midst of the move. And so that I'm dreading that because it's never fun. And all the indications I have say that everybody's going to be fine and everybody's going to be happy, except I'm going to get my heart broken.
Oh.
I believe I've narrowed down to, I know what that's going to be, and I'm going to do everything I can to cushion that. But I think that I will plan something fun for afterwards, for after I get settled, so that I will have something to look forward to. It won't just be oh, I'm going to have to move and it's going to be upstairs, so I'm going to have to climb and, all kind of things that are, my knees don't like stairs. And so I have a dog that will have to be walked several times a day up and down the stairs.
Up and down.
Things like that. So I'm going to be making this transition that's going to make my own personal life a little bit harder.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody else is going to be happy.
But you know what though, the environment that you're moving to is a better environment.
It is a better environment.
So
it's better, it's quieter, it's healthier.
There you go. So even though you've added that piece over here on the scale, to heal the piece over there that is and they do say that if you live in a home with stairs, you live 10 years longer, which is a really good statistic. Just by taking one flight of stairs. I have a really good packing suggestion for you.
Okay, good.
Because when John and I had to move, we left a job that was 20 years where we managed property. So we lived there and we worked there. So after 20 years, we had 10 days to move out, which left us homeless and unemployed at the same time.
Right.
Nowhere to go, no idea what to do. And we'd collected 2,000 square feet worth of stuff that we needed to put into a pod. We needed to figure out how to put it into this little tiny space. And I was busy, and I'm one of those organizers, right? I'm like, okay, box number 1 contains 1 clock, 2 pairs of shoes, this
Right.
book and this book and this book. And at some point I was like, you know what, this is exhausting. I had a whole book of just what was in the pod. So, I mean, it was crazy. And so what I did instead was I made index cards with numbers on them, 1 through, I think, had something like 93 boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the index card and I placed it inside the box of things and took a picture on my phone. So my phone was cataloging what was in each box in my photo section by number. So all I had to do was go through the photos to find what it was I was looking for in order to retrieve it in the event that everything didn't get unpacked and put immediately away if there were things that were still in boxes. And it just made life so much sweeter because, at the end of it, you're like, okay, what's in this box? Stuff. What's in that box? Stuff. It's stuff. So there are ways to make it really easier than you think. So to take away some of that stress of being able to get through a stressful move.
Yes.
It is. It's really stressful.
So Kiba came in. Good morning,
Okay.
Kiba, and Viviani is here. Good morning.
Morning. We were sharing what's in your cup, whether it's coffee or tea. So if you guys want to let us know, or if it's Coke, Diet Coke, it might be Diet Coke. But yeah, moving is a really tough thing to do.
It is, and I'm probably going to have to put some things on my channel on hold.
Okay.
But what my plan is, because it's only going to be about 5 miles away, is to take my time moving and move a little bit at a time until I get down to furniture. And then that way it won't be a burden and I'll be able to keep most of my regular routine going.
Right.
While the transition happens.
Right. Which is really a really interesting challenge. Believe me, in a home that's being remodeled. Right. It's been really challenging to try and figure out where does the desk go? Where does the monitor go? Where does all this stuff go? And for folks who are not doing video shows, it takes a lot to coordinate it all. It takes a lot of just preparation, time and space.
And where I'm living now, they are doing a great deal of construction work on the exterior of the apartments and have been for months. And as time goes on, it gets louder and louder and harder for me to schedule a show
Right.
where I don't have a lot of noisy interruption.
Yeah, background. Yeah.
And
you're doing good. It's not coming through today. So are they still at their coffee break?
they are, I will let you in on a secret. I put major protection up around my space
There you go.
when I'm having a show. And especially if it's one that it's not a pop-up. I'm really not able to do pop-ups right now because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I will start about 2 hours before my show putting up my protections around the space and making sure that I call in archangels, that I call in all my guides, my ancestors, that my guides are having an ongoing conversation with the guides of the people outside my window. And would they be able to direct them to some other activity?
Oh, that's awesome.
Kind of thing. So I am, and even while I'm sitting here, I'm having an ongoing discussion with my guides, making sure that they are doing what they need to do to protect this space. That
Mhm.
Archangel Michael has his sword and he is standing in front of this space to protect it.
Yeah.
So I have lots of protection up, but I do it. I don't just sit down and turn on the camera. I
Mhm.
start preparing the space,
Mhm.
my whole space, so that I can have that amount of protection.
Right.
Now, if I'm just going to be on a Zoom call with someone, I
Yeah.
don't necessarily do that.
Right.
But this is a sacred space, and I make
Right.
it sacred.
Right. I did notice somewhere in the chat back there that Gertrude was talking about a dream that she had, and I really hope that you'll come to the Dream Detective show and share it with us, with Allie, because I don't think we do dreams here. Well, we haven't before, but just in case you want an interpretation of it, I'm not really sure what that was all about. I just saw a little glimmer of something going across the screen. So, but if you were to come up with ideas, are there people in the chat that can share ideas of what kind of event they could plan to be excited about after a move? We would love to hear from you. What would you do if you knew you had to move and you wanted to do something after it, which, mind you, you're probably a little bit on the sore side, a little exhausted, but still wanting to look forward to something really fun. So if you guys could share that with us in the chat real quick,
That would be cool.
and just let us know what your ideas are, because even coming up with ideas can be hard when there's a lot of stress.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, Lisa, this apartment complex was built in 1972, and it does not have elevators. It's an older building, and it's not.
ADA.
Yeah. So it's fine. It's just I have to, and I lived upstairs for 13 years, so I can do it.
Hmm.
It's just a matter of
Readjusting. And being kind to your knees,
yes,
putting some extra ice and, having that around until they get used to it for a while.
yes,
So
yes.
for me, I love movies. So
I do too.
I would plan a movie party where my buddies would have to come in costume, okay, that related to the film.
That's fun.
And if we were not all meeting at a theater, because we've moved far away from everyone that I know, really. We're like, we're in the outer limits. No, but we're we're far away from everyone. So what we have done in the past is done a Google meetup or a Zoom meetup or a FaceTime meetup where everybody hits play at the same time for something showing on Prime or something showing on Netflix. And then we can still chat while the show is going on
Right.
simultaneously with everybody. And so everybody can see what the costumes are and everything else.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That immediately Rocky Horror Picture Show popped in my head because I'm from that era.
Yeah.
And
let's do the time warp again.
Used to go to the midnight shows dressed up, and
yeah.
Then there would be an after party that went on till all hours.
Maybe that's in your possibility list. Something to be doing.
But those were so much fun.
Yeah.
And honestly, I kind of miss those days because they were kind of carefree. Nobody was judgmental, or at least the people I hung out with were not judgmental. Nobody worried about some man in a corset. Nobody worried about it being dangerous because it was in the middle of the night.
Right. Yeah, because the shows were always like at midnight or
they were at midnight.
Start really, really late. Yeah.
So you get out of the show, and I don't remember runtime, but with everything and visiting and all the excitement and everything, I'm sure it was after 2 when we would leave, and then we'd go to an after party till the sun came up, and
Yeah.
listen to Meatloaf and the Grateful Dead, and it was kind of going on in the background. And
Are you a deadhead?
I'm not really a deadhead. I enjoyed the attraction for the Grateful Dead is because they are a great jam band. So in person is where their following was.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to, I was a kid. I was a teenager. And so I wasn't able to travel around. So what I heard was pre-recorded stuff, which makes the experience is different.
Right. Can be. Yeah. Because the energy of the crowd.
But I was madly in love with Meatloaf.
Oh, okay.
For 40 years, I was madly in love with Meatloaf. So,
It's okay.
because I loved the way he sang.
Yes. Yeah. Well, music is pretty magical stuff. So
Yeah.
maybe there could be some sort of concert that could be, you could investigate a concert where everybody could.
Maybe. I haven't been to a concert in forever.
I know, right? Me either. I'm trying to think what the last one I went to was, Brazilian jazz in Santa Cruz. Live Brazilian jazz. That's probably the last concert that I went to.
I'm embarrassed to tell you the last concert I went to. I saw Bobby McFerrin.
I met Bobby McFerrin
In 1980
6
something, probably around then.
85. So Bobby McFerrin was signing autographs. And I had this tradition where I worked was near a very large concert pavilion. And all of the people that played at that pavilion that did concerts stayed in our hotel. And so we always got to get autographs from, everybody. But I heard that, and so I started doing this thing where I would have them sign a T-shirt, because what I wanted to do was like the football jerseys, put them in frames, with their names, on it. And so I had, but the one that I went with Bobby McFerrin, there was this long line, and I had a T-shirt tucked in my back jeans pocket. Okay. And I was wearing a T-shirt. So when I walked up to say, hi, I'm here for an autograph, he said, okay, great. Do you have a CD or do you have something for me to sign? And I said, well, I thought you'd sign my T-shirt. And of course, everybody burst into laughter because they could see the T-shirt hanging out my back pocket.
Right.
and he said, well, you really want, and he kind of blushed a little bit. And then I pulled out the T-shirt, and of course he signed it. He said, boy, you're wicked. You're bad. You're bad, lady. But it was great fun, right? It was just great fun.
It might have been.
Parents, interesting.
It might have been the early 90s, but he's really talented.
Right.
But prior to that, my last concert was probably Journey. I saw Journey in 1982. And
82?
They were absolutely the same live as they were on the record.
Journey played at my junior high dance.
Really?
Yes. They were from a Bay Area band. And one of their first performances ever was at my junior high school. We didn't know who they were.
They were still pretty new. And when I saw them, they were still pretty new.
So good.
And their live show sounded exactly like their records.
Right.
They were a really good, well, still are, a really good live band.
Yeah. Well, and didn't Steve Perry find a Steve Perry sound alike? Is it Steve Perry from Journey? John?
Steve Perry, he retired.
He did retire, but they found someone whose voice was similar.
And he was a Filipino man that I can't remember his name, but
Right.
he sounds almost exactly like Steve. Yes.
Right. Yeah. The radio station that I used to have a lot of fun with too did a lot of live performances in San Francisco, where they would take over the lobby of a huge mall, and everybody would go and listen and hang out and buy CDs and get autographs and stuff like that too. So
Right.
it was really fun. I met so many different people, from all walks of life, because they were staying in the hotel. So, but 1982, that wasn't your last concert. No way. Seriously. Oh my gosh. We're gonna have to hook you up with some sort of simulcast concert. We're gonna have to find you some music because it's good stuff.
So
Even where we are, an hour from where we are, is Santana. Santana's going to be performing, live, and it's nice to see that they're coming back.
I
But
would
I
love
will
to
admit that being in
Santana live.
California,
Santana is, yes, I would love to see Santana live. That would be amazing.
well, maybe we'll just have to fly you out here. It's next year. Tickets are on sale now.
Let me pack my bags. So
Yeah, Carlos.
but that's that is a fun thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It was really interesting to watch. I don't know whether you saw the documentary that Santana put out, but Carlos went through a spiritual transformation, and he is like one of the highest performers, sending it out, saying, "Listen, there's so much more. You guys need to understand that this walk is not about just
and
all the
he
things."
is
He's really
an
out
old,
there.
he's an old hippie after my own heart.
Yes,
He
he
does. He
Yes,
is.
he is.
And when he first came to the United States, I want to say he came to New York, and he used to tell a story about that he went to a club and he saw a poster, and it was Jimi Hendrix playing live. And he saw Jimmy,
Yeah,
and he said,
I want to do
I
that.
can do that.
Yes, I've heard that story too, but I heard it from people that lived in the Mission of San Francisco that used to hear him jamming or playing or just hanging out, because before they were famous they could do that. But yeah, it's good stuff. So we'll have to find you some music. Are there any suggestions from the chat about
Everybody's talking about music, about Santana, about Queen.
There's no
Flowing said Paradise by the Dashboard Light. Yes. Of course, that would have to be performed from heaven now because.
Awesome. Well, we'll get it figured out. And if you guys have ideas throughout the week, you can leave a comment. Can they leave a comment, Deb, on this under this video for something as a suggestion? So you have some time to prepare, for that exciting, looking forward to. And I would love to know what everybody is looking forward to. What are you planning that's going to be an exciting thing to look forward to in the upcoming weeks or even in the upcoming months? I know for me, it was planning, the visit with my daughter. And hopefully after that, maybe we can plan wedding gown shopping. I don't know. It all depends on what she's got going on and where she wants to go shopping, because I'm not going to fly to Spain.
That would be exciting. That would be so exciting.
It's exciting. It is exciting. New love and fresh, that romance, that excitement. And just to be around it is good stuff. Even as we mature and we know that is just part of life.
Yeah.
But it's good. So let us know what exciting things you are preparing for and getting excited about, and if there's something that you want to plan so that you can get through a dreaded moment.
I need to make a public service announcement. Diana, please don't text while you're driving.
Uh-oh.
Please.
Oh, is she in the car?
Text while you're driving.
And she can audio text.
I
So
love
she
you,
just-
but I want you to be safe.
She
Okay.
can she can do a text with her voice. So
So
she
because
could
you know
probably
she's got some songs.
oh yeah, we want everyone to stay safe. So and we're so excited that you guys all joined us for coffee this morning. I love hanging out with you, Deb. I love where the conversation goes. It's
This is so
beautiful.
much fun,
It's
and
so
there's
much.
no expectations. No, we don't know where we're going when we come into this space. We don't know what
Yep.
we're going to talk about. So it's just a fun chat time with no expectations and nothing. No, nothing. We're just raising vibrations.
Yeah.
And spirits. So
Yeah. Just supporting each other.
yes.
Yeah.
And so, Kate, next week we are not having the show because you're going to be visiting with your daughter. Is that?
She'll actually have been gone by then.
Oh, will she? So, do you
Yeah.
want to? Do you need
Let's talk about it. We'll
some
figure it
recovery time or something? So, watch this space. We'll let you know.
Yeah. With
I'll
the with the snow weather, she might be shifting her day, so I really can't commit to a Friday at this point.
And I recently was gifted with a community tab from the YouTube gods. So,
How exciting.
it'll be on that space. I will put that. I will let you know.
Okay. That's awesome. I totally love it. Thanks you all for coming.
Thank
It was
you.
so good to see everybody
We
in the
love
chat,
you.
and
Good morning. Have a great day.
have a great day.
And until next time, beautiful beings.